everybody. This is Sharonda, and this is my YouTube channel, Spiritual Sense. Today is Wednesday, which is April the 13th. And in this YouTube channel, I'll go over topics in regards to the paranormal, supernatural, and occult. So I give my own account as to what I feel like the supernatural and occult is expressing to us. So I'd like to start off by saying that this podcast or this YouTube channel is for entertainment purposes. And so if it just so happens to coincide with what you believe in, that may be by chance or even by happenstance. So I've already paid homage to the wishes that I favor. I said my prayer and I made stage over my area, and I've laid my cards for this tarot card reading for today. Now, I am working with my Psychic Tarot deck cards today. So card one, this is card one, Rejoice in Celebration. So this is what the reading is applicable to. As the barrier or hindrance, I have Truth card. That's what I have here. Above the situation, I have Passion Ignited card. This is the root of the issue. This is what I have as the root of the issue. For card 5, I have this card here. It says victory and success. For card 6, I have light. I feel as though this reading is a medical reading because I do have 2 chakra cards to come up. I feel as though it is in regards to someone who has received a diagnosis in regards to a particular condition that they felt as though that you had. Something is letting me know that you need to consider another opinion. If you need to go and get a second opinion or even a third opinion, I feel as though what is going on with your situation is apart from the location or the region that you're in and what they're accustomed to. So I feel as though this reading is in regards to someone, in regards to what your diagnosis is, because when you begin to work with spirit and spirituality, everything is God. God is everything, whether it's favorably or unfavorably. And oftentimes God will use mockery or adversaries to let you know what it is that he's trying to convey, to the contrary of popular belief. So card 7, this is what I have as the attitude, positive move forward. So he wants you to move forward. I feel as though this is a message that he wants to get out monumental. So many of people who have been diagnosed or misdiagnosed and are requiring a second opinion or looking for a different set of eyes to shed light and awareness on their situation. And oftentimes God will show it to you by way of the countenance, the features, and the poise of the person. You would know when it's a message that needs to be conveyed. Part 8, this is what physically surrounding. So I show emotionally lost. I feel as though this is what you're around. You're surrounded by those who don't have that same passion or drive as you do. And what do I mean by that? I feel as though you're with someone who is callous. Like you may be surrounded by a group of people who simply are callous. That means desensitized, overburdened as such. Now, oftentimes when you are captivated with a whole bunch of confusion or a whole bunch of naysayers, it's hard to see through it. It's hard to see through it. But I do have this card here as card 6. So he is shining light. I feel as though he He gave you epiphany. He's shining light on this situation to spread awareness and attention to this situation and focus on this particular region in regards to diagnoses or misdiagnoses, if you may. And oftentimes, he would use these examples to show you how spirituality meets science, how the duality against one another, one plays against the duality of each other. And once you have gained that insight, it will be apparent to you, you will see it. There's nothing you have to say. It would just be apparent to you. God will have your eyes conditioned and tuned to know, okay, this is what this is, or this is what this may not be. And I feel as though oftentimes when you have, people that may, travel abroad or even, go to another region or another location, we want to see if everybody is standardized, if everybody's on the same page as such. And this is to let you know and to enlighten you that this is how spirit works. And this is the test. Simple as that. I think many of people are waking up right now, and things that they once believed, they're falling away from things they once believed and no longer are believing those things. And I think this is where all that revelation and things come into place right now. Because oftentimes, you can sit and talk to a person today, as they say, blue in the face. They're not going to get the message until they actually experience it. And as they say, hindsight is 2020. Oh, now I get what was going on. And so I do feel as though this is the situation that is plaguing you right now. I feel as though I'm talking not only to one group of people, but of many groups of people. Once you have seen the light, once that epiphany has shown upon you and God has enlightened you on how that works, then you will see clearly. Because oftentimes when you get encased in someone else's reality and mindset, it's hard to differentiate the two. So when you're empathetic, you're able to see things in another person's eye, but you don't want to allow that to what? You don't want to allow or mesh your identity. And I think right now, there's an attack on identity right now. Meaning, forces coming towards you or against you to pull you from your roots, to pull you from your identity, and to get you and condition you to think otherwise. Now, there's nothing wrong with having different perspectives of how you see things, how you view things, but you want to view it in an objective manner. You don't want anyone to manipulate, control, or brainwash you. I can totally understand that. Because the biggest trick, as I mentioned, the devil ever pulled is convincing the world he or she did not exist. Just that simple. So for card 9, I have this card here. Throat chakra. I feel as though someone made it apparent to you about something. They communicated something to you, and it turned out that it was not the truth, because I do have the truth card here as the hindrance or the barrier. So I feel as though it was not the truth, simply not the truth. And I do have the sacral chakra card here. Sacral chakra card. Okay. So in relation to that, and it does have number 2 there. I do feel as though you need to get a second opinion, or perhaps even a third opinion, because you will begin to understand that everything that presents to you is not all the time right. And this is the test. And once you have gained that insight and you're able to think, on a higher scale of things, you will understand that one thing will tell on it, another thing versus another thing tell on it. We are in a parallel universe, is what that is. And once your brain has been engaged, God will make it apparent to you as such how life happens and how life works. And I give you an example as to what I was talking about. So, I homeschool my children, and oftentimes I put on videos in regards to, the different subjects and stuff for their schooling. And, we watch on space, the different things in regards to space and the Big Bang Theory and how we all come about with the atoms, 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 and how the explosion of the different elements and the stardust and all this other stuff that manifested in it. And they mentioned about black holes, how a lot of the byproducts that happen with the solar system by way of the stars, is pulled into the black holes and perhaps exited through white holes in order to come about with the solar system and us coming into existence. So as I'm sitting here listening to this program, I'm thinking to myself, is this some is this some type of bull crap? Then it became apparent to me that they're simply displaying the message and how the spirits will operate accordingly. I kid you not. Because oftentimes people would think that you are personally, as a tangible human being, are doing these things. It's already been set up in stone. And that's how you will know when things are being done or operated out of what? A spirit. Because I propose that many people will see those things. This is the test, whether you give power to it or not. And this is how life happens. This is it. And what you will begin to see is a lot of that stuff is mere. I feel as though is in a sense I mentioned that a threat. Ultimately, and God will put it in your countenance to where you will know this person doesn't care anything about going out of his way or her way to do these things. So who is doing it? And that's when God will give you revelation by way of stillness. As the saying goes, still waters run deep. Like you would get an inclination within your spirit when you just sit still, because it's going to present itself before you. This is the test. This is how God tests us on a day-to-day basis. Some things you just know. It's just like an inner knowing. I do feel as though he will shield whom he will at their due time as well. So again, this reading is in regards to someone who received a diagnosis. I do have above the issue as passion ignited. I feel as though this diagnosis that you receive was to, in a sense, get you to see what those texts were speaking about, how the biblical text applies to science, how science and spirituality meet, and to give you an explanation as to why it was written as such, so you're able to get and understand it. Because when we go back to the text, you have different perspectives. You have different perspectives by different authors. So when you begin to read certain things, you'll begin to see and understand through their reality. And that's simply what that is. Okay. So I just wanted to do a quick tarot card reading for today. This is just to give an explanation in regards to medical versus science, which is something I'm always speaking about. So again, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're more than welcome to comment below. Until then, you have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.